Hello people, Shalom, Sat Sri Akal, Salut a tots. I hope everybody's well. Today we're going to cover two topics mainly. One, kind of this pandemic silliness, and two, what we went over yesterday for a little bit of clarity for the Globe believers. So first, I can't see the chat by the way folks, so please forgive that I can't be in there chatting with you guys. But I hope you enjoy. First, let's go here. And I'm doing this display so I can use my cursor. What we have is from The Guardian, AstraZeneca boss. So I've highlighted this area here. Concerns over moves to raise the maximum share bonus Soriot, that's the guy's name, can receive under a long-term plan from 550% of his £1.3 million base salary to 650%. AstraZeneca also plans to hoist Soriot's maximum annual bonus to 250% of salary from 200%. Depending on performance targets being hit. What does all of that mean? Well, this 550 to 650% is regarding shares, okay? Share bonus. And this part here is regarding his actual salary, money, ka-ching in the bank. Obviously, you also get ka-ching in the bank from the share bonus. So, lots and lots of millions of pounds for this man. So, who could be pushing for this vaccine to be accepted and administered to as many people as possible in Britain? Who could be behind this drive? Could it be the guy that's going to get a lot of ka-ching? Looks like it, because that was the same guy that was running AstraZeneca just before the shutdown, see, 27th of March 2019, worrying jobs news for Macclesfield, which is where AstraZeneca is based, only about 10 miles away from where I live, set to shed nearly 100 roles. 100 roles, 100 jobs. So, they were going into redundancy. They were placing people in redundancy just before, fortunately, this virus came along and rescued them all. That's right. You can read the article if you want. Just, well, look at the headline and, type it out. Read the article. It tells you, oh yeah, they're going to get rid of jobs. But some of them are just part-time jobs and other ones are like other things. And yeah, no, the boss isn't getting fired. Don't be silly. He got a big bonus. And then this year got an extra big bonus. Another big bonus. So who could be behind the drive to have more people trapped? Is it the government or the government just the middlemen? That's why I called this separation from church and state, or separation of church and state. In the US, you have this very wise system where you have the state separate from the church. That way you can have as many different denominations of religions without really interfering with the running of the government, supposedly. In Britain, we obviously do not have a separation of pharmaceuticals and state or medical industry and state. Why do I say that? Because the NHS, the National Health Service, is run by the government, acting as middleman for the pharmaceutical and the medical industries. Isn't that fun? Yes. Okay, now, that's that done. Let's go over here. This is for the Globelings. the globe believers who don't really understand some very simple things that you'd think they would understand. Here, just to remind people, we're talking about this from this video, from Blueprint. Flat Earther learns a lesson about refraction. Black Swan debunk. Now this was some time ago. I was busy dying of cancer at the time, but anyway, I didn't die of cancer, so now I'm going to cover it, because I did actually see that the flat earthers out there, apart from one, they all made a very poor job of it. But the majority of flat earthers out there, especially the ones in Britain, the majority of them are tarded. They are the tarded people. So this is to try and reach as many globe believers out there as possible, as might watch this, and also to entertain the flat earthers who are watching anyway. So, general principles of reality. In reality, these arrows are indicating direction. So, you have number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the first arrow, for those of you who believe in a globe, we flat earthers refer to that as up, and we pondlings refer to this as down. Okay? So look, can you see how the up one has a pointy bit at the upper part of the line? That's a way of indicating up. That's one way you can remember it, okay? And the other one has it, well, at the down part of the line, and that's the point down. So the one on the, well, I won't confuse you yet, but this one I'm circling is up, and this one is down. For a practical example, you might want to stand up or stand on your feet erect and then look at your feet, and when you're doing that and your feet are on the ground, then your feet are down from your head and your head is up from your feet. Or you might choose to look up to the ceiling, and that would be up, and relative to the ceiling you would be down. Okay, I hope you understand that. There's up, the way clouds are in the sky, up, okay, and down is the way rain falls, down. Okay, now let's go over 2. Same thing with the arrow. This is pointing over that way, and we use the term right. Okay, that's an arrow pointing right. The other one is an arrow pointing the other way, which is left. Now it starts getting a little bit trickier. Okay, number 3. These 2 arrows, which are still pointing right and left, are also pointing slightly up. You see, it says slightly up. So can you see they're pointing slightly up? Okay, and these are pointing slightly down. Okay? Okay, so a couple of exercises for you. Please join in. Okay, light bending slightly up would be 3. This is 3, see? That would be like bending slightly up. It says, see example 1. We'll see that in a minute. And then light bending slightly down. Oh, it says down, down. Would be, well, 4, like down. Okay, see example 2. So let's look at the examples. Oh, there's the examples. Example 1. Bending slightly up. Can you see? And then bending slightly down. Do you see? So look, see how this is going away from the line, from the blue line, like it's going more up, see? That's why it's slightly up. More up, more up. That's slightly up, okay? And these are going slightly down. Okay, now, which way is the light in the picture below bending? Which way is the light in the picture below bending? See this red line? It's bending. Which way is it bending? Dun, 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 dun. That's right, it's bending slightly up. Well done, Globe Believer. But which way is the green line bending? See, I've added a green line. And it's also bending, similar to the red one, but a little bit differently, but still up. That's right. It's also bending slightly up, just a little less than the red line. Well done. Now, what about the blue line? I've added another line, see? Oh, it's there. You see the blue line? Which way is the blue line bending? I'll let you look at it a little longer. Which way is the blue line bending? Well, look, it looks like here, so a little bit closer to this banding, and here a little bit farther away, and here a little bit closer, and here a little bit farther away. That's right, it's bending slightly up and down. Well spotted. Now here's a tricky one. How must the lines bend in order to arrive at the observer's new height? Where's the, oh look, there's the observer's new height. Look, they're tiny. Okay, the observer is a lot smaller than the platform. It's not as big as a platform like this great big giant. No, there's more temperature variance, more density variance between the entirety of the platform through all the various variants it goes through, or it's in its environment, and the tiny little person here. So which way, how must the lines bend in order to arrive at the observer's new height? You see, the observer's height in this image that was drawn by a Groebling to try and understand how this picture of the Earth was kind of resolved by reality. He made this, and I just placed a tiny person instead of a giant. A tiny person, in reality, would be smaller still. It's only 2 feet off the surface of the water, and this black curve is playing the role of the surface of the water. Now, it says here, look, at the bottom, hint, draw 2 lines. On, it says on, it should be 1 from the top and 1 from the bottom of the structure. So that would be 1 line from the top and then 1 line from the bottom to arrive at the tiny observer with his new height. Okay, got that? Let's see. Aha, look. If you drew something like this to show lines bending both up and down, well done. See, look, see how the green line is curving down and down and down to the observer here. Look at the observer, see? He's reaching his eyes. And that's curving down, okay? And this part here, where the base of the structure touches the water, well, you can see, can you see how it's going up from the surface of the water? Can you see? So this line is going slightly up. So the light is going down and up at the same time. Okay, now here's a picture of a platform taking at around, I don't know, 9.4 miles from 2 feet elevation. You see the bottom, the very bottom, and the horizon a bit beyond it, but that's the bottom of the structure. Notice how these aren't all massively distorted, like the ones used in thumbnails by silly flat earthers who, for some reason, chose to take a freeze frame or a screen grab of the most distorted image they could instead of the least distorted image. But never mind. So here's a photo taken from 2-foot elevation, 9.4, I think it was actually 9.6 miles from the platform. And here's another photo to consider. See, this one. Now, the guy that made this video is the only one that actually made anything reasonable regarding all of this. So, also from 2 feet elevation, you see? But let's see, look, number 6 is 11.2 miles away. That's a lot of distance away. That's more than 9. All of these, you shouldn't really see the bottom of any of them, but you're seeing the bottom of all of them. Okay? Now, the same way that I've done all of this, see? All these, we could do the same, but with 3, just take 3 of these, just choose 3 of them, choose the distant one, choose number 6, number 4, and number 1, okay? Right. And then, well, we would have this, and we'd have, well, the more distant one, the less distant one, and the less distant one. Now, how are you going to bend the light? See how I bent the light here? And Globlings will be like, yeah, perfectly reasonable. Yeah, it's okay, because the blue one, look, this is what Globlings might say. The blue one is moving into a less dense, and therefore towards the normal, because it's going from literally sea level to 2 feet above sea level. So it's bending ever so slightly up, whilst also bending around the curvature. And this one is going from a lighter medium to a denser medium, so it's bending down towards the normal. Okay. Now, care to draw the same thing, but with 3 towers? 3 turbines? How are you going to draw it? How are you going to draw from 3 points on the water, let's say here, here, and here, to, well, skim the surface maybe, all of them skim the surface, and then all of them start to go up somehow? I mean, I don't know, how are you going to do it? You see, your curvature calculators say that for the observer to see the most distant turbine, it must be some 50 feet up in the air. I think it's 50 feet. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, 59. 59 feet up in the air in order to see the base of this one, and 43 feet to see the base of this one, and 27 feet to see the base of this one. But the observer is not at 3 different heights simultaneously. He's at 1 height. It appears like these are all also at just 1 height, like on a flat surface. It looks like the observer with the camera, Dr. John D, is a singular POV, it's a point of view, one indexical point of view, and the shot is taking an image of a subject, which is the entirety of the light, which is coming along one plane. This plane, like the Earth is flat. Do you see? So, just give me a second. Here's the original. Here is this. Go and view it. It's only had a few views. And I'm going to play this video. It's only short. And here we have a very long-winded and unfortunately narrated or read by a known quisling in the flat earth. But never mind. this video, okay, by Dr. John D. Unfortunately, it's so long-winded that Globlings don't have the patience or the fortitude to make their way through the entirety of the video. That's like somebody going to the dentist and asking the dentist to take his time. It's kind of unrealistic. Globlings aren't going to go and say, can you please just prolong it? So when they see a video like this, well, to them it's prolonging the pain. Now, having said that, we'll go to this one, which is nice and short. We'll play it. I will take the sound off because there's some music to it that I don't want to get a copyright strike for. And we'll watch it, okay? Okay. Now, we see this is rather a lot higher than this one here, okay? But let's carry on watching. We'll see. And after this, I'm going to quit. This is a good little video. There's the platform in the distance. The poor Globlings. And you know, some time ago I thought, instead of condescending to them, just try and reach them more directly. And then I thought, no, actually you can't. You can't reach the Globlings more directly. You know, if you do it with good humour, you can mock them as long as you do it with good humour. I'm doing it with good humour. There's no point in not having good humour if you're going to mock people especially. So, you know, but try and make things clear and simple. Because unfortunately, that's how they've been taught, with very simplistic diagrams. Like, here's a great big giant. He's as tall as the platform, unlike anything in the real world. Now, here's the platform, and here's density gradients, and here the guy is, well, as I said, as tall as the platform. So the rays from the platform, the beams of light from the platform, look how close he is to the water. What is that? Maybe a couple of feet? Maybe a couple of feet. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh. Photo opportunity. Look, the bottom and the bottom. Oh no. So, you see, you can't replicate this with a giant saying that the light from the bottom of this platform is bending up to meet the giant a couple of, well, a few tens of meters off the ground, because the camera is on the ground at an elevation of approximately 2 feet. So the light from this area here must be bending up 2 feet to fall into the camera, and the light from here must be bending down into the camera. See, because the camera is at the same density as this region. Okay? Do we have that? So look, where the light is bending slightly up here in the real world, is it here? No. In the real world, all of this light is bending slightly down. Otherwise it wouldn't be falling into the camera, see? So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night or your day, whatever time you're watching this. And I was watching, just before I go, I was watching Russell Brand showing this government, American government, advertising dating websites that are promoting COVID jabs. You know, for all the super desperate people out there. Yeah, now, because I got a jab, if I want to be with someone else, I want them to have the jab. See? Because birds of a feather, they flock together. Not realising that to folks like me, and likely you, that's like, oh, brilliant. Hey, I have an idea. Why don't you put an armband on that lets us know your allegiance? Why don't you put an armband on and call it the Truly Affirmed Reality Democrat, or TARD for short. Okay, folks, that's it. I'm off. Bye-bye.